Welcome back to the Light Inside Me channel. Are you tired of living like a shadow on the wall? Do you ever question your true purpose? Do you long for a deeper kind of strength? Something unshakable to face the challenges life throws your way. You've already begun the work. You've been growing, if kunodan evolving, or is reflecting. Now it's time to go further. In this next chapter of our journey, we'll dive into the biggest questions humanity has ever asked. We'll begin with Plato and his mind-bending tale of a cave filled with shadows. Then, we'll learn the art of resilience from the ancient Chinese sage Lao Tzu and the modern-day warrior Bruce Lee. We'll search for meaning with Aristotle. And most importantly, we'll discover how to become truly self-reliant and create happiness from within. This episode continues our ongoing self-development series. If you're new here, or if you missed previous episodes, no worries, there's a full playlist waiting for you at the end of this video. But these lessons are more than educational. They're a practical, daily philosophy, a mindset, a way of life. So don't forget to subscribe. And if this content resonates with you, give it a like and drop a keep it up in the comments below. Now, let's change how you see the world starting from the inside out. Set in. Plato's view your brain is a cave. Let's kick things off by diving headfirst into the philosophical deep end with Plato. Don't worry. You don't need a toga or a degree in ancient Greek. We're breaking down his powerful ideas in a way that's simple, relevant, and a little bit fun. The allegory of the cave dude. Where's my reality? Plato's most famous thought experiment is the allegory of the cave. Picture this. A group of prisoners has been chained inside a cave their whole lives. They face a blank wall. Behind them, there's a fire, and between the fire and the prisoners are objects casting shadows on the wall. The only thing the prisoners ever see are those flickering shadows. And to them, that's reality. One day, a prisoner breaks free. He escapes the cave and steps into the real world. At first, the sunlight is overwhelming. But soon, he sees the truth. Vivid colors, depth, light, and real objects, not just shadows. Excited, he returns to tell the others. But they don't believe him. To them, the cave is all there is. What's the point? Plato is saying that most of us are like those prisoners. We're trapped by illusion, our biases, our limited experiences, and the non-stop stream of media that shapes what we think is real. We take shadows to be the truth. But according to Plato, there's something greater, the world of forms. The world of forms, the ultimate upgrade. To Plato, the physical world, the one we touch and see, is only a faint reflection of something deeper. He believed in a realm of perfect, eternal, unchanging ideas called forms. For example, the form of beauty is not a sunset or a sculpture. Those are just imperfect imitations. The real essence of beauty exists beyond our senses. And according to Plato, our souls come from this world of forms. But when we're born, and we forget what we knew. So, education isn't about adding knowledge, it's about remembering. So how do we escape the cave and return to this higher reality? 3 Stoic philosophical steps to freedom. Question everything. Don't accept the world at face value. Question your assumptions, your beliefs, and the information you're being fed. As Socrates said, the unexamined life is not worth living. Seek wisdom, read philosophy, have deep conversations, listen more, wonder more. As Plato put it, philosophy begins in wonder. Cultivate virtue. Plato believed that the key to a good life is virtue wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. When you live by these values, you align yourself with the truth beyond the cave. How it applies to real life. The social media skeptic. They don't just scroll mindlessly, they question the filters, the motives, The algorithms, they seek truth beneath the curated feeds. The lifelong learner, they never stop growing. Books, podcasts, courses, conversations, they chase wisdom wherever it can be found. The ethical activist, they stand for justice. Guided by principle, not popularity, they know the world could be better. And they act with integrity to bring the ideal into the real. The bottom line, Plato's ideas might seem abstract, but they carry real power. When you question assumptions, seek wisdom, and live virtuously, you start to wake up. You stop chasing shadows, and you begin to see the world and yourself as you truly are. As the philosopher Immanuel Kant once said, dare to know, have the courage to use your own understanding. It is well to be flexible. Your inner Gumby's guide to rolling with life's punches. All right, folks, let's talk about flexibility, not the yoga kind or circus-level contortion. As cool as those are, but the kind that truly matters. Mental and emotional flexibility, the kind that helps you adapt, adjust, and thrive in an unpredictable world. The rigidity trap. As humans, we crave routine. We like our plans, our schedules, our predictability, but let's be honest, life doesn't care. Plans change. Obstacles show up uninvited. The world throws curveballs. When we're rigid, stuck in our ways, or unwilling to adjust, we're like a stiff tree in a storm. Then we crack under pressure. But if we can learn to bend like bamboo in the wind, we become resilient. As Bruce Lee famously said, be like water making its way through cracks. Do not be assertive. But adjust to the object, and you shall find a way around or through it. If nothing within you stays rigid, outward things will disclose themselves. And this, the philosophical flow. The ancient Taoists understood this well. Lao Tzu, the legendary Chinese sage, taught the principle of wu-wei, effortless action or non-forceful flow. It's the art of moving with life, not against it. He reminds us the stiffest tree is most easily cracked, while the bamboo or willow survives by bending with the wind. How to cultivate inner flexibility. Here's how to develop that quiet, powerful flexibility in your mindset and in daily life. Embrace change. Change is not a glitch in the system, it is the system. The sooner we accept that, the easier it becomes to navigate what's next. As Heraclitus said, the only constant in life is change. Let go of expectations. Expectations often lead to frustration. Life doesn't owe us predictability. By loosening our grip, we open ourselves to surprise, to growth and unexpected joy. Practice mindfulness. Being present helps us respond rather than react. When we observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment, we become less likely to be thrown off course by the unexpected. Adopt a growth mindset. Believe you can learn, adapt, and evolve. Obstacles become opportunities. Mistakes become teachers. Setbacks become pivots. Laugh at the absurdity. Sometimes life is just ridiculous. A little humor goes a long way. Laughing at the chaos helps us stay light, grounded, and sane. Real-life flexibility in action. The canceled flight. Instead of raging at the airline, the flexible traveler takes a deep breath. Maybe they rebook. Maybe they explore a new city. Maybe they finally start that book they've been meaning to read. The job loss. It's painful, but maybe it's the push needed to reevaluate passions. Learn new skills and find a better fit. What looks like an ending might be the start of something more aligned. The relationship ending, instead of spiraling, the flexible soul reflects, heals, and grows. They take the lessons with them and keep their heart open to love again. The bottom line, being flexible doesn't mean being weak or abandoning your values. It means staying grounded while staying open. It's about resilience, adaptability, and the quiet courage to let go of control. Because life isn't a fixed path, it's a winding river. And if you want to thrive, not just survive, you have to learn to bend with the wind. As Charles Darwin put it, it is not the strongest or the most intelligent who survives, but the one who is most adaptable to change. This is what we're here for. Living a life that matters. All right, folks, let's have a heart-to-heart not about some abstract meaning of life or the answer to the universe. Though shout out to Douglas Adams, but something closer. Something more personal. We're talking about why you're here, what makes your heart come alive, what leaves you feeling like your existence actually means something, the existential crisis. We all face it sooner or later, that gnawing question. Why am I here? We look around at the world, the chaos, the suffering, the injustice, and wonder. What's the point? As Albert Camus once said, there is but one truly serious philosophical problem, and that is suicide. Judging whether life is or is not worth living amounts to answering the fundamental question of philosophy. But here's the thing. These moments of doubt, these existential crises, they're not just dark holes to fall into. They're portals. They open us up. They shake us awake. They make us ask the hard questions, and if we lean in, they lead us to something deeper, a compass from the past. The ancient philosophers had a surprisingly practical answer. And Socrates, Aristotle, they weren't just theorizing in the clouds. They believed we're here to live well. It was, to grow in virtue, to use our potential, to make a difference not just for ourselves, but for the world around us. As Aristotle said, happiness is the meaning and the purpose of life, the whole aim and end of human existence. So how do you find your purpose? Let's break it down, not into steps, but into directions. Yes, done. Follow your curiosity. What makes you lose track of time? What topics pull you in? Wherever your curiosity points, it's pointing toward your soul's path. Explore it to serve others. One of the most meaningful things you can do is help. Is kindness, compassion, giving your time. As the saying goes, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Create something. Writing, music, a business, a garden. When you create, you express your spirit. You connect. You leave something behind. Embrace challenges. Don't fear the hard stuff. That's where your strength is forged. That which does not kill us, Nietzsche said, makes us stronger. Live in the present. Not in regrets, not in anxious predictions. Right here, right now. The present moment is filled with joy and happiness. Do said Thich Nhat Hanh. If you are attentive, you will see it. Real life purpose looks like this. The teacher who lights a fire in their students, they're not just doing a job. They're shaping the future. The artist who paints what can't be said, they're not just making pretty pictures. They're sharing their soul. The volunteer who shows up quietly and gives their time, they're building a better world. One human moment at a time. The bottom line, the meaning of life isn't a riddle you solve. It's a path you walk. By living with presence, creating, serving, growing. You don't just find meaning. You give it. As Viktor Frankl once said, the meaning of life is to give life meaning. Blow your own nose. A philosophical guide to self-reliance and why you shouldn't rely on Kleenex for everything. All right, folks, let's talk about something that might sound a little silly at first. Blowing your own nose. Now, before you roll your eyes or reach for a tissue, stay with me. This isn't just about hygiene. It's about something much bigger. Self-reliance, independence, taking responsibility for your own life. The dependency dilemma. In today's world, it's easy to fall into the comfort of dependence. We lean on our parents, our partners, our employers, even our smartphones to make things easier, smoother, more convenient. But here's the thing. When we rely too much on others, we hand over our power, we become fragile, passive, and unable to stand strong when life gets messy. As philosopher Immanuel Kant said, enlightenment is man's emergence from his self-incurred immaturity. In other words, real freedom. True autonomy begins when we take ownership of our own lives, rather than waiting for someone else to fix them. The self-reliance revolution. The idea of self-reliance isn't new. From Ralph Waldo Emerson's famous essay to the rugged individualism of the cowboy, to the fierce independence in Ayn Rand's novels, the message has echoed through time. Don't wait for someone to save you. Save yourself. But let's be clear. Self-reliance isn't about being a lone wolf. It's not about refusing help, rejecting support, or isolating yourself. It's about having the skills, mindset, and confidence to face life on your own terms. How to cultivate self-reliance. Embrace responsibility. Own your life. Don't blame others for your problems. And don't expect anyone to rescue you. As the old saying goes, if you want something done right, do it yourself. So, develop your skills. Learn. Stretch your comfort zone. The more you can do for yourself, the less you'll need to lean on others. Cultivate resourcefulness. Got a problem? Don't panic, solve it. Try, tinker. Troubleshoot. Remember, necessity is the mother of invention. Build confidence. Trust your own abilities. As Henry Ford put it, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Ask for help, but don't depend on it. Self-reliance isn't about isolation. It's okay to lean on others now and then just don't make it a habit. Rely on yourself first. Real-life examples. The DIY homeowner. Instead of calling a handyman for every squeaky hinge, they watch YouTube tutorials, read blogs, and learn to fix things themselves. They turn frustration into skill one project at a time. The self-sufficient gardener. Rather than depending on grocery stores for every bite, they grow their own food. They learn about soil, seeds, seasons, and take pride in feeding their family with their own hands. The independent thinker. They don't just echo what everyone else is saying. They research, question. Think for themselves, even when it's unpopular, especially when it's unpopular. The bottom line. Self-reliance isn't about being stubborn or refusing help out of pride. It's about empowerment. It's about taking responsibility for your life and building the tools to thrive no matter what. As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, self-reliance is the only road to true freedom, and being one's own person is its ultimate reward. So yeah, blow your own nose, because sometimes the small acts of independence are what build the foundation for a strong, capable, fulfilling life. Finding the right mentors. Build your Jedi Council. So far, all right. Folks, let's talk about leveling up your life. Not with some mystical guru on a mountaintop or a slick-talking life coach with an over-filtered Instagram feed. We're talking about real mentors. People who've walked the road, made mistakes, faced the fire, and came out wiser. The mentor myth. We tend to romanticize mentors imagining some all-knowing, flawless figure who holds the secret keys to life. But in truth, mentors are just human. They have their flaws, their blind spots, their own struggles, but they also carry something priceless. Lived experience, hard-earned wisdom, and insight that can save you years of stumbling in the dark. Seneca said it best, Choose someone whose life and words have earned your respect. Point to them as your model or guardian. In short, find someone you genuinely admire, not just for what they say, but for how they live. The modern-day Yoda. Mentors come in all forms and not just wise old sages with long beards. They might be your teacher, your boss, your friend, your parent, someone you meet at a coffee shop. They could be older, younger, or even the same age. The point isn't age or title, it's connection. Find someone who challenges you, who expands you, who makes you want to be better. And so why you need a mentor squad. Accelerated learning. They've already made the mistakes. Why not learn from them instead of repeating them? New perspectives. Mentors help you see your blind spots and your hidden strengths. Support and encouragement. When you're in doubt, they remind you what you're made of. Accountability and feedback. They keep you honest. They push you further. They help you grow. Opportunities and connection. Mentors often open doors you didn't even know existed. Real-world examples. The young entrepreneur. They find a seasoned business owner. The mentor shares stories, strategies in their network, helping them skip years of trial and error. The career changer. They connect with a coach who helps them find clarity. Build confidence and make a successful pivot. The creative soul. A writer, musician, or artist learns under a more experienced creator. They refine their craft and finally find a place to shine. How to build your Jedi Council. Know what you need. Are you seeking clarity, accountability, a specific skill set? Define it first. Find real role models. Look for people who live the way you want to live. Reach out, ask. You'll be surprised how many are willing to help. Network with intention. Go to events, workshops, online forums. Great mentors often show up when you're showing up too. Be a great mentee. Respect their time. Stay open. Be coachable. Mentorship is not a handout. It's a partnership. Bottom line, the right mentors can change the trajectory of your life. They won't hand you the answers, but they'll help you ask better questions. They'll sharpen your thinking, fuel your growth, and help you walk farther than you ever could alone. As the old saying goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Find your people. Build your council. Level up. Brick by Boring Brick, your blueprint for building an epic life, one small step at a time. Let's talk about building something extraordinary, not a Lego sculpture or a Pinterest-worthy backyard, although those are cool too, but a life that actually matters. A life with meaning, fulfillment, and a legacy that lasts. The instant gratification trap. We live in a world wired for speed. We want instant results. The perfect body. The dream career. Viral fame. But the truth. Anything truly worthwhile takes time, effort, and a lot of patience. As Seneca wisely said, life is like a play. It's not the length but the quality of the performance that matters. In other words, it's not about how fast or flashy life is, it's about how well you live it. The brick-by-brick philosophy. The Stoics Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus. Seneca understood this deeply. They taught that progress isn't about grand leaps, but consistent daily effort. Focus on what's in front of you. Do your best with what you've got. Over time, it compounds. Marcus put it best. The obstacle is the way. What blocks your path becomes the path. So, how do we live this out? How to build your life? Brick by brick. Set clear goals. Know what you're building. What does your ideal life look like? Define it, then break it into smaller, realistic steps. Fall in love with the process. Don't obsess over the end result. Learn to enjoy the repetition. It is the learning, the journey. As the saying goes, love the process, and the results will follow. Try, embrace the boring stuff. Success often looks like doing the same unglamorous things every day. Writing, perks, practicing, age, showing up. These are the real bricks of greatness. And celebrate the small wins. Every time you lay a brick, take a moment. Progress might feel slow, but it's still progress. Acknowledge it. It keeps you going. Be patient. Rome wasn't built in a day. Neither is a good life. Stay consistent. Trust the process. Keep laying bricks. Real-world examples. The marathon runner. They don't just wake up and run 26 miles. It takes months of slow, steady training, building endurance step by step. The entrepreneur. Great businesses start with an idea, then a series of tiny experiments, setbacks, pivots, and wins. It's not magic. It's process. The writer. No best-selling author writes a perfect book in one sitting. Draft, revise, edit. Repeat. The messy middle is part of the masterpiece. Bottom line. Building a meaningful life is like building a house one brick at a time. With patience, effort, and focus on the little things, you'll look back one day and be amazed at what you've created. As architect Mies van der Rohe said, God is in the details, and so honor the details. Show up daily. Lay the brick.